point about Venezuela, there was an account from a Venezuelan paramilitary soldier loyal to Maduro, and a post has been making the rounds. It was, I don't know if it was intercepted, but it was voice communications between, what are they, Chavistos or something? They're loyal to Maduro. They're like paramilitary, kind of like guerrillas, something like that. It's not 100% confirmed to be real. It's certainly possible it's fake, as this information benefits the U.S. tremendously. Either way, I'll read it for you here. This is the transcript. The security guard says, on the day of the operation, we didn't hear anything coming. We were on guard, but suddenly all our radar systems shut down without any explanation. The next thing we saw were drones, a lot of drones, flying over our positions. We didn't know how to react. The interviewer. So what happened next? How was the main attack? Security guard. After those drones appeared, some helicopters arrived, but there were very few. I think barely 8 helicopters. From those helicopters, soldiers came down, but a very small number, maybe 20 men. But those men were technologically very advanced. They didn't look like anything we fought against before. Interviewer. And then the battle began? Yes, but it was a massacre. We were hundreds, but we had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed, it seemed like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything. Interviewer. And your own weapons, didn't they help? No help at all, because it wasn't just the weapons. At one point, they launched something. I don't know how to describe it. It was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. Interviewer. And your comrades, did they manage to resist? No, not at all. Those 20 men, without a single casualty, killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon or whatever it was. Interviewer. Do you think the rest of the region should think twice before confronting the Americans? Without a doubt. I'm sending a warning to anyone who thinks they can fight the United States. They have no idea what they're capable of. After what I saw, I never want to be on the other side of that again. They're not to be messed with. Interviewer. And now that Trump has said Mexico is on the list, do you think the situation will change in Latin America? Definitely. Everyone is already talking about this. No one wants to go through what we went through. Now everyone thinks twice. What happens here is going to change a lot of things, not just in Venezuela, but throughout the region. Now, excuse me. Again, this might be U.S. propaganda. It's certainly possible. I mean, if I was the U.S., I would be like, yeah, that shit is totally real. Yeah, that is what we did. And look, maybe it's real. Maybe it's not. I don't know. If I had to bet, I would lean on the side of it being real from what I've seen. If you're a country looking to fuck with the United States of America, can you safely just discount this as fake? Right? Can you just be like, no, that's bullshit? What if you're wrong? The U.S. has direct energy weapons that can make your fucking head start bleeding. Do you understand? Like Peter Doocy from Fox News reposted a segment that he did in 2013. You can see it up on his Twitter page. It's the most recent post where he essentially confirms this. Okay. There's a video. He's at Quantico. And he's basically saying they have this directed weapon or whatever that runs on some sort of like millimeter frequency or whatever the fuck it is. And he goes, when I'm standing right here, it was 50 degrees outside. He goes, when I'm standing on this spot and they fire this thing at me, my body gets insanely hot, right? And he's standing there and then all of a sudden he just jumps out of the way. Now, maybe this is Fox News propaganda from 2013. He was just acting. I don't know. It's, again, a lot of possibilities here. And it's also possible Chinese and the Russians have similar technologies as well. There's a CNN interview from the 80s going around. I caught a little bit of it. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing, but it was essentially a whistleblower saying the U.S. has weapons like this. This is in the 80s, and that the Russians have it too. There's no mention of the Chinese, but it's very possible that everybody has this shit where they can make your fucking heads bleed. Okay. And just the fact that Venezuela is like, they're like, yeah, there's 20 of them and they didn't take any casualties and they destroyed us without any problem. You would have to think a lot of countries are seeing this and they're like, huh, that's not great. It's not great if we don't have this shit. If you don't have nukes and you don't have this stuff, you don't really have a leg to stand on at that point. You don't.